Colorado County Commissioners for June 1st, 2015. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, we'll start off with public comment, Montana Minute, duty update. Then public comment. Comment, anything on the Montana Minute or update?
I'll share a Montana Minute. I don't know if you guys caught the PBS special on White Sulphur Springs.
No.
Nancy Schlepp was one of the featured people. There was a high school gal who was talking about small town life, and I'd really like to come back home after college. And then another gentleman who was a business owner talking about White Sulphur, and of course Nancy was talking from the ag side of things. But the show, did you catch it, Ann? The show was really almost a foundational program on the needs in small communities for infrastructure and specifically Tintina. Yeah, it was very, very well done. Just the facts, ma'am, but the flavor came from the people that they were following. And it looked like it was over a period of time, and then they did interviews. But it was well done.
How long was it?
Just an hour.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was on Thursday night.
The need for what, Laura?
The Tintina copper mine, it's
Oh, yeah.
something that Nancy Schlepp is
Smith River?
well, there's been some issues or some controversy, but I met her, I'm not sure the distance, but it's quite a ways from the river. Yeah, she's an employee of Tintina to some degree.
I missed her, my ears are getting old. You said in small town communities and it showed the need for, and the word went off.
Oh, infrastructure,
Oh.
jobs.
Okay.
They talked about how many people were in the senior graduating class for this gal's dad, and her class had 8. So it was showing, some of the woes that are going on with not only White Sulphur, but a lot of Montana communities. And, then showcased White Sulphur has hope. So it was really very, very good program.
I wish I got PBS.
Ever since the mill closed down over there, it hasn't been doing as well.
Right, yeah, it's been in decline, and that was the other thing, they really talked about the history of White Sulphur and what brought it, and of course, timber industry.
And refresh my memory, last week on my Montana Minute, did I do the speeds and speed limits at Winston? Okay. I couldn't remember. But I have to tell you, I was through there a couple times this weekend, and I had a truck that if I had touched the brakes, he would have bought a Cadillac. And I slowed way down because, he was right on my case. I said to Bob, I hope he passes me so I can give him light treatment. But he didn't, in fact, backed off. But people are starting to pay attention to it.
That's good.
And that is very good.
Well, now that this school is closed,
It still goes into effect.
it's still effective.
Yes.
Well, I still slowed down because I noticed when I went up there earlier, the flags were still out. But now going north, they took the flags down, but I still slowed down when I took somebody yesterday up to the airport. Because even though there wasn't really any traffic by me, I just figured you may as well get in the habit.
Yeah.
That's here. I mean,
Is that 55 all the time or just
Yes.
when the lights are flashing?
All the time.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
And I have a question, is there any way to get Lewis and Clark County to fix the giant potholes on the road on the other side of the lake? You hit Broadwater County and the road's beautiful. I felt like getting out and saying, welcome to Broadwater County, we fix our roads.
I think I would write a letter to the commissioners up there,
Yeah, from here.
because it wouldn't do any good for us to say anything.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna pay any attention to me, you need a property owner up there. Yeah, I thought I busted the axle on my vehicle coming.
I haven't been to Backwoods for a while, it must be bad, huh?
It's dumped stuff in there, I like that way because it's, you know, pretty. And there's not so much traffic, and why not? I'm not gonna do that way again.
Couple of updates with Commissioners Community Update. I shared this a little bit at the CBA meeting, the collective bargaining agreement. Debbie and I went to a training on the paperwork and reporting requirements with the Affordable Care Act. And of course, we have enough employees that we have to follow it. Well, we got there, 3-hour drive, 2.5 hours. We got there, they started going through everything. Debbie and I are both taking notes. And the question came up, so is anybody with a national pool? Well, Cheryl Wood turns around and she says, Broadwater County is. I'm like, yeah. And the guy said, oh, well, none of this applies to you guys. Your insurance pool is gonna take care of all reporting. You guys can just go home. So we stayed for lunch and we came home. So that's good news. It's gonna save Broadwater County probably, 30, 50 hours of work. So you add that for an employee's time and that's significant. The other thing is, I met with John Semple over the mosquitoes. Of course, we're contracting the whole thing this year. We've been getting some complaints already. He is going to start with the larviciding, and he's interested, and this is something we'll have to talk to the mosquito board about. He's interested in buying our fogger. He wants to put it on an S10. I'm kind of thinking we need to see how this works before we start giving away or selling our equipment. So I'd like to maybe have a mosquito board meeting with him to discuss this.
I wouldn't be in favor of selling anything until we've got a year behind us,
I agree.
because if it works, wonderful. If it doesn't, we're buying all new stuff.
Exactly.
So,
And I'd like to invite Ellison, our new extension agent, who starts today, to come to the meetings as a liaison.
mhm.
We don't know what the future looks like, but it'd be good for her to start getting acclimated just in case.
Good.
And then, of course, the CBA meeting was Thursday, and I thought that went real well.
I also attended the CBA meeting. Also, Rocky Mountain Development had a board meeting on Thursday. It was very well. They just amazed me at all the different things they did. Last week, they went around Helena, and I can't tell you the number of people, but they went to their homes, and they cleaned up the yard, they painted inside and outside homes, for people that can't do it. And I thought that was a nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not so sure we shouldn't try that in here, through Rocky,
Absolutely. Yeah,
another year.
yeah. I think it's a great idea.
So, but both meetings were very good.
Yeah, I attended labor negotiations too on Wednesday, I guess it was. Yeah, Wednesday.
I think that's all I have.
And then Chet here,
Pardon me?
we're just talking about white sulfur spray, we had a letter from DEQ. They're applying to them for a wastewater treatment facility.
In White Sulphur?
White sulfur, yeah. claims here, in the amount of $14,964.06.
Can you say that again, please?
$14,964.06.
I'll make a motion to approve claims in the amount of $14,964.06.
No second.
Move second, we pay claims in the amount of $14,964.06. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
It sure sounds like it needs some WD-40.
Claim from, Robert Reporter, $36. Need a signature on that.
Do we have claims up here?
No, Deb said there wasn't any. Tammy didn't get to them.
Oh,
She was claims.
I got a call from Tammy a little bit ago, and she said that there is some down there.
oh,
Was
okay.
that right?
I was gonna bring them up, but
Oh, because I was down there and there wasn't any, I brought them in, so then I went back and I asked Debbie, and Debbie said there wasn't, but,
yeah, there's some on the board there.
oh, what?
Tammy asked me if I'd bring them up, and then I went down there, and Debbie said, well, you need to leave them here, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Whatever, huh?
Now we'll get off here a break or something.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, you got it. Trying to help out a little bit.
Okay, 10:15, Dana Rouser. Monthly update.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Can there be roads flooding?
No. Not that I know of. I was out Siles this morning. I actually went down, I got a complaint on DSC's doing some grading out there, so I went out there and looked at that, and there's really, I called the guy back, and there's really not much complaining to be done, really. I mean, it's just that there's a few washboards and one of them roads left. And they're back out there, trying to retouch it again, but there's just no material there. So like I explained to him that we're trying to get every year, haul a little bit in there. With a $13,000 budget out there, it's just pretty tough to do a whole bunch at one time.
Doesn't go very far, does it?
No, it doesn't. So, actually, I'm gonna try to get him to haul a little bit more in there, probably later on this summer. A couple of them that are really bad, so. I think, you spend a little time every year, you get, at least get caught up a little bit maybe, so, anyway. Oh, and it actually looked like that Hahn Road, when I went down there was, with that rain that came through there last night, looked like there on both sides of the road, it came down through there about that deep in the ditch, on the ditches there that we put in there. So, that was good. I mean, it's not all standing in the road and then thinking we're gonna be okay. There's a lot of, sweet
Kind of doing what
clover.
you told it to.
Huh?
It's kind of doing what you told it to.
Yeah.
So,
But there's a lot of sweet clover coming up. I'm gonna try to get Scott or somebody to go out there and spray just the edges of the road, not down in the ditch so much, but just on the shoulders, just to knock that down a little bit on Hahn. And I think Cactus is probably okay. So we'll get a little bit of that knocked down and keep as much as we can in the bottom to kind of keep the erosion down a little bit, if we get some big water. So I know it's a couple times a year of rain and, have some downpours and it'll mess that up a little bit, so.
Must have had heavy rain up there last night.
It did.
Oh,
There's a lot of water in there.
We had heavy rain last night.
Was that right?
Mm-hmm.
See, TJ and them, they went up to get their graders this morning on Ray Creek, up next to Rick Myers. Said it didn't hardly rain.
Really?
Yeah, said it was dust coming off the road.
Yeah, it didn't rain in Toston at all.
Yeah. See, it surprised me because it looked like it did.
It looked like it was really coming there, and I don't know, maybe the valley might have got some, but that was it, just ended.
Yeah. Huh, well, supposed to come today, I guess, this afternoon, but.
At least we aren't getting what they're getting in the south.
Yep.
This showed on TV this morning, some guy had cattle, 600 head of cattle stranded. And they were trying to get them so that they could load them on a train to get them out of there because
Wow.
they were surrounded.
Huh,
Uh,
pretty tough. I got a call on Price Road this morning, also got a email, saying it was rough again. I don't know, it's been a while since I've been down there, but, called them back. Got them tamed down for a bit. We're gonna have to haul a little bit of material in here probably later on and just try to fill some of them potholes and stuff just through that one section there. I mean, it's just basically one section that gives us problem. So we'll use some of that gravel we had crushed there and fix that up.
Are you crushing gravel right now?
No, we're not yet. I just got my thing on my SRS money here, so and then I got some stuff in my budget letter here that I'm gonna be requesting. So as soon as I get everything taken care of, probably after July, I'll get somebody in and I'll get something done. But let's see, TJ, I got him out on Tossin Dam Road this morning, and he's gonna do River Road, part of 437 when he gets, if we continue to get some moisture. Got a call on that last week, so. River Road, gonna do that. First stretch there, it's pretty rocky, you know. I think TJ can get down in there and get some cover for a while till we can get some.
Get some more material in there.
But, got Mark out on Goose Bay.
I had a call on the roads at Webb Lane, was bad.
It's a little washboard. I was on it the other day.
Oh, okay, I wasn't out there, but.
Yeah, it's a little washboard, and it's not too bad, but we'll do some of them while we're out there. And, Mark's on Goose Bay.
What's he doing in Goose Bay?
We're just gonna blade them roads up down there.
Okay.
And then we're gonna get, we get Avalanche, White's Gulch, Hellgate, and that while we're down there, so. I know, White's Gulch up around through Gravely Lane is kinda got some, big mud ruts and stuff in it. We're gonna have to try to clean up down the road, but I'll try to get some gravel out of that state pit up at the end of Goose Bay. To do that, so I don't got a haul so far. Will's cleaning up Ray Creek. We just got done pulling that up last week, and they got some material hauled on it. The first stretch from the canal to the haystacks at Jeff Marks's is really good. That second section, we got a lot of rain Wednesday night, or Tuesday night, and it got a little goosey on them, so it's a little soft. I was up there Friday afternoon late, and it was pretty soft. You know, they got some lime hauled in on it, but we're gonna have to let it sit for just a bit. They kind of touched it up this morning, you know, before they pulled out of there, but we'll have to go back and, you know, just finish that up a little bit, but.
They hauled a lot on there.
Well, we did. We've got close to 1,000 yards on it. You know, but it'll seal that up now, and I mean, we won't have to worry about the washboard coming back for a while, so. Just like Sand Hill Road, I mean, Sand Hill Road's really good. I don't know if any of you have been on it, but
I have.
it's pretty nice right now, so.
I don't think I've ever seen it that nice.
No, and, you know, we've got pretty much finished up what I want to do as far as road building right now. I got a couple little short sections we'll do this summer, but other than that, you know, we're just getting into our general maintenance and, you know, start mowing some weeds here pretty soon. I'm gonna end up trying to hire temporary here sometime soon. Maybe right, so I can get them going right after the 4th. And I know we talked about that in our HR meeting here that one day. It was, I think he just got a week notice in the paper with some applications and stuff, so.
Same process, just simplified.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, we'll do that. A few roads we need to clean up as far as gravel. I was on Lower Confederate the other day, and there's a couple shots over there. We got some on, what road was that? Ray Creek, South Fork Ray Creek, we need to clean up. North Fork. I got a few to do out in Crook Creek Valley, like River Road, you know, we clean that up. Toma Road. In fact, I think TJ's gonna try to run down and clean some of them rocks off there so we can get halfway started on that.
On River Road, you gonna haul some
On
in
Toma.
now? Oh, in Toma, okay.
Yeah.
On River Road, you gonna haul now, or you just gonna try to?
Well, we're just gonna try to heal it up right now for a bit until I get some more time.
Okay.
We're gonna try to, get these mountain roads done too. I was up Dry Creek last week, and I mean, it's not real good. I gotta get up there with a blade. We got right up on top. In through Cartwright's there, we got one big wash. It's about halfway in the road, and it's funneling up pretty good. So, I mean, I gotta get up there sometime, hopefully this week, and at least get that. Because if it get another big rain, it's gonna be not real good. So, in fact, it might take half the road out. But, you know, all the way up to the county line's kind of bad, I guess. I didn't go all the way up. I went up top Spring Creek, I think, last week when I was up there, but, well, just before you go down into Davis's there. Yes.
Any more on that Eustis Road? You heard any?
I haven't heard anything else on
I
it.
haven't either. Have you been up there any? Or you haven't been?
Oh, I went and looked at it. But, I mean, I haven't heard anything else. And, you know, I don't know, the one guy was the only one that called. So, he must be getting around all right. This SRS money, from what I can figure out, I think we're ending up with, I think the road's gonna end up at about 171,000. Did you calculate that at all?
No, was it showing,
This is what all you have to do is add your figures in to here, from this right here. I'm assuming, or is it, maybe that's the wrong, maybe that's the wrong line. What's that broad wire right here? Is that what that looks like to you? Maybe I'm figuring things wrong.
this one is for,
It's down quite a little bit then, isn't it?
Well, no,
so it's supposed to be, well, the sequestration hit it, but that's it.
and it may be taking some of that stuff off that we did get, that I didn't take off here, so I don't know.
You shouldn't be losing anything except for that 25%. And I thought that Harold had emailed that they were going to be already including that in the calculation, but it doesn't look like it. Wasn't that just for figuring out Title I and III? Or am I kind of think you're getting the full 230.
Well,
We didn't do this one. We didn't do the forest reserves.
oh, I thought that's what all this was here. Oh, that's Forest Reserve, the Title I, see here, Title I, which would be the 256, right?
Mm-hmm. Carried over, because we didn't do,
And I don't understand,
this is the 25%.
25%.
Right, so that's subtracted from this number, which is your, oh, nice,
So 234.
yeah. So I think you're getting the 234.
Well, not, it doesn't all come to me, so actually it would be a little bit less than this. I'm assuming it's gonna be, because this is school.
Didn't the school already get theirs though? Harold, I guess it was a conference, Forested Counties meeting. Harold said that when SRS is taken away from counties, the difference for the schools is made up in additional property taxes. That's why
Oh.
property taxes went up this year. The roads don't get anything other than your 25%. So I think, what did you get last year? Do you remember?
I didn't get hardly any last year.
I mean, the year before. It should be the same amount
Yeah,
minus
it was-
sequestration.
It was 100 and, I don't know, it was 100 and something, it wasn't 200.
Okay, so maybe you're right. Maybe you do divide it out and the school just gets another,
Now, see, we
Little
usually
kick in.
get like 2/3
right.
normally,
Mm-hmm,
and they usually get a third
right.
of the combined, normally.
Mm. Okay, yeah, I bet you're right then.
So, anyway, if that's the case, then I'll be getting probably, a little less than that,
Okay,
like the 25%. So on this.
Would that come out of the
150.
road? Did you get this already? The 25%?
Well, I think I did, I don't know,
Okay.
Dawn, I mean, it's the way I'm reading my reports, I guess, I don't know, these new reports are a little odd to me, so,
Yeah, me too.
uh,
I didn't think that applied to us, so I didn't look that much at it.
yeah, I think it does,
Okay. All right, well,
unless,
thank you.
unless they've changed it. So that'll be good, I'm gonna set some of that aside for equipment, and then I'm gonna use some of it for gravel, so, if that's the case, but we'll get that figured out. And is there any, did you see anything on when this was supposed to come?
Yeah, the email had a
Payment?
date. It for sure has to come in by June 30th.
Oh,
So
okay,
you'll be getting it this week, or this month.
okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Well, anyway, that'll be kinda added in there a little bit, like I said, I'm gonna set some aside into my 940, so we're gonna looking at probably upgrading blade here in the next year or so, so I'm gonna maybe
How long's it been?
help on that.
How long's it been since you did a new blade?
5 years, no.
Oh, okay.
So the warranty's off both those two cats. I've got the 96 and I've got the 05. They're still both okay, you know, they don't cost a lot of money. I do a lot of preventive maintenance. But, you know, some of this stuff's just time to upgrade, so, dump trucks, you know, we may end up doing one of them or something here for the next few years. You know, you got to sell one and get into one fairly decent price, I think. They're all pretty well up to snuff too, but I got some problems with that 96 or that one Martin runs. Frame's cracked a little bit on it, and, you know, we've been watching it, keeping an eye on it, you know, we've kind of double framed it there, but it's still one of them things, I mean, we use them a lot, we haul a lot, and they're pretty rough roads, so, I mean, when we're hauling on some of these roads we're building, I mean, it's tough on them.
Did you get the tire, was there, you put tires on the belly dump, is that ready to go now?
Yeah, it's ready to go. In fact, I was running it there, but we got that taken care of and it's ready to go. And so I'm gonna use it probably to haul down that Tomer Road and stuff when we get on that. Because it'll be mostly pit running stuff. We just haul some pit running here. You know, there'll be fine enough gravel in there. We'll be okay.
Comment?
Sharon Lloyd, reporter, can you just remind me what SRS stands for?
Secure Rural Schools.
And now, if I'm not mistaken, now did that kind of go away? Well, not go away, I mean, is it, because I know that flat grant stuff is kind of coincides with that a little bit.
It actually, the flat grant,
Is that
is
right?
that the federal access?
Federal Lands Access Program.
Yeah, that one's actually connected with the transportation bill,
Okay,
so they're actually totally separate.
all right.
Yeah. They got so much heat in Congress from counties about what they did with the SRS. The fact that they brought it back and made it retro, I think puts us on pretty solid ground as far as assumptions for the future
Yeah,
with it.
okay. Okay, and I see Debbie got her longevity report all
Yeah, you see that?
made up here, so, I say my crew will be asking anyway. At least I got something to at least show them that they're working on it. And, hopefully we can get that taken care of. Has everybody got my little budget finished?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know, I'm just gonna.
This one?
Yeah, I just wanna throw that out to you. It's just what I'm gonna be requesting on my budget as far as, some money from PIL, just to help me out with my, did you get one?
No,
You did, it's in the mail, Franklin.
it went through the mail, I didn't see it. Which is- Oh, here,
Yeah, right here.
okay.
Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna be requesting some money. Normally, every year, you know, even when Natalie was here, we were, you know, she'd request $75,000 to $50,000 to be put into my CIP and my 4,005 for, you know, the purchase of equipment, just to have there. I'm gonna be requesting 75,000 for that.
What's in there right now?
Well, I don't have that report with me right now, but it's 100, I thought, close to it, because I know there was supposed to have been some, I think 2 years put in, because we lacked 2 years last year, and I requested. So that was supposed to have been taken care of. Like I said, once again, these reports are a little bit odd to me, you know, compared to the old ones. Gonna be requesting another 5,000 to be put in the bridge, just for big, in case something happens. You know, I don't use it a lot, but when I do, you know, if something happens, I'm gonna need it. And then another 50,000 to help out with some gravel. Hope that you take that into consideration a little bit.
Is BSE gonna do any crushing in or
Not BSC, no, I haven't seen their outfit around, and I've talked to Brandon a little bit in the past, and, you know, the last couple months, and he's just, you know, he's busy, he's lost a couple guys. and-
Yeah, I think the guy didn't work with the crusher, is gone too, isn't he?
He is. He is, and I haven't seen their crusher around, I don't know where it's at, but
Oh, well, you-
anyway, he can't, he knows he can't get the production.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, it took him all summer long to get done what we needed to get done last year, and, you know.
when you just mentioned the bridge there, I forgot, that North Fork Bridge, are you gonna be able to fill just those holes or?
Yeah, we can fill them holes in, I just haven't been up there
Yeah,
yet.
okay.
When I get there, I'm,
I know you said you went to look at it, I didn't.
yeah, I went and looked at it, it's just some potholes there, so
Okay.
hopefully they'll tear it out pretty soon, I won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, they're not working up there yet, are they?
I think they're working up above
Oh, are they? Oh, okay.
on another one. You know, this one down at North Fork Bridge and that one at Roswell, it's gonna take some time.
Mhm.
You know, hopefully they'll get it knocked out. Okay, did you see what I had in there?
No, what I have,
Okay.
I do have it, I can go through it, it'll take me a few
Alright,
minutes to
that's
find
all right.
it,
Don't
that's
worry
what I
about
kind of thought.
I've got this one.
Oh, perfect, what does it say?
Available, $50,395.
On my CIP? Okay, see, there's something wrong, and I keep asking.
The different reports, and this is the thing with Black Mountain, is you kind of have to learn which reports to look at. Some of the reports show what you have this year put in
Yeah.
there, and another report will show the balance of all the years cumulative. And that's the thing is figuring out which report you're looking at. I think that's just this year, because what I have is your actuals put in there from 12, 13, 14, and 15, which is, you know, what you built your budget on. And it shows 79 and 12, and then 35 requested for last year.
Well, and it shows
Yeah,
the
I thought
current
it had
So I
50.
think that is, I think you've got more than the 35 for sure,
I should-
but that's
No,
just
it
on
is.
memory. What does that say? 50?
50, but it also has one here for the current appropriation, $70,395.
Okay, now see, I've shown that for years. So, and that's where I'm saying, you know, I mean, these reports are a little weird, you know, and I question Debbie, and I question Laura, and I question, you know, whoever, but, you know, if I can't see it black and white,
And it's not there.
to me, it's not there.
Right.
So, you know, but
Mhm.
in one sense it is, one sense it isn't.
But you need to know what that total is, and
I
that's
do.
just part of the switch over to Black Mountain, is figuring out
Yeah.
how to read them and where it's at. So, we'll make a note and get that to you,
Okay.
yeah.
So anyway, that's my request, and like I said, I hope that, you know, we can see if it helps that, I mean, with the demand on gravel loss and stuff, you know, I mean, we're moving ahead, you know, I'm not trying to make it sound like we're making leaps and bounds, but every year we're getting better, okay? I mean, I've got roads now that, just a few of them that are problem roads. And I mean, you know, our upper mountain roads, they're always gonna be a problem because, you know, you're just the way it is, you know, and I'm not gonna go gravel every one of those. Just not gonna do it, it doesn't pay me to do it, it's not, you know, go in and fill some ruts, fill some holes, you know, that's about the best I can do with that stuff, so. Some of them, you know, you can, if you got a haul spot or two, is fine. We try to go up and, you know, something that's got real problems, we'll try to dig something out of the bank, you know, that's causing us a site problem or something like that to help heal them up a little bit, but, other than that, you know, I just can't see fit to keep running our trucks up and down them mountain roads all the time. Okay, I think now I'm gonna be gone, I don't know, did everybody get my email, am I gonna be on vacation?
Mhm.
I think so.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be leaving the 24th, Tammy and I both. And we'll be back, I'll be back towards the 6th, so, TJ will be in charge, and I guess if y'all don't have his phone number, you better get it. Next week, I may have a training in Kalispell on Tuesday, I'm not sure yet, I'll find out today, damn Shaw deal. I'll be gone, if I do that, I'll be gone, in fact, I'll let you know, but I'll be gone Monday afternoon to drive over, and then I'll be there all day Tuesday. I'll come back Tuesday night, I got a Mackers meeting in Bozeman Monday, or Wednesday. So I gotta go to that, and then, the EQ meeting on Thursday. in Helena. So, anyway, mine next week's kinda shot, so. Anyway,
Are you gonna do something fun for your vacation?
yeah, we're going down to Grand Canyon,
Very good.
so. We can take our camper and stay down there for a week or so, and take the grandson with us, and
You had a good time.
yeah, that'll be good. Other than that, I think that's about all I've got, for sure for now, anyway.
Go ahead, Carol.
Little FYI for you, Dana, the Duck Creek Road sign has disappeared.
Really? Right off the highway? Okay. I got another one up on Ridge Road, it's disappeared. In fact, that's the fourth one. In fact, I had it on a pole that was 12 feet high. They backed up to it, or however they got to it, I don't know. Took the screws out, dropped the screws on the ground, took the sign.
Well, they've been
Fourth one I
doing
got.
vandalism to the mailboxes too.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So,
Okay, well, I'll write that down and I'll take a look at it, get another one coming
just in case somebody wants to know where Duck Creek is.
in. Well, yeah, and I hate not to, the ones that are disappearing all the time, like the one on Ridge Road, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some paint, and I'm just gonna paint Ridge Road, and we'll see if they take that one. They probably won't like that one quite as well,
Yeah,
but,
What's motivation?
that
Anyway.
would work. Not busy enough.
yeah, something. Okay, thank you, Carol.
Grease the post.
Have you been up Spring Creek? Through Dry Creek? Okay, because I heard up there toward, just before you turn down into the Dwight place there, that it's kind of bad up through there, right on the Mark County line.
That one spot there that washed out.
Yeah, that one, and then up right at the Mark County line, I guess, so. And I haven't been back there, I didn't know if you guys had cattle up there yet or not, so.
Not yet.
Okay. Well,
We'll let you know.
okay. That's good. All right, is that it?
Thanks,
So-
Dana.
Get an earful, yeah?
Thank you very much.
Okay, sounds good. I gotta stop down and talk to Debbie a little bit on this budget stuff here. I got most of mine filled out. I just had a couple of questions, so.
Ask on that 940 thing and she can give it to you.
Okay. sounds
Yeah.
good. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good day.
Oh, the date of my report is 15th of April.
Oh, yeah, when we did the last budget review.
Okay, we're just a few minutes right here with the, oh no,
We're behind.
Yeah, that's the wrong one here. FY16 county department budgets. What do we have? The latest on these budgets?
You tell us, Mr. Chairman.
I don't have any.
Did you check with Debbie this morning, what's going on?
No. I just asked when those claims in there, and she was busier than heck there, and I didn't get anything on the budget at all.
Because I think they're all supposed to be in today.
Yeah, we gave an extension to extension.
For the obvious reason.
Right, right. Yeah, Allison starts today, and it just wouldn't have been fair not to give her that time to work on her budget. Another one that we should give an extension to, they haven't asked yet for it, but based on the fact that at 11, we'll be dealing with Brenda's fiscal year 15 budget. We haven't done the amendments, we haven't figured out what we're gonna do to keep that afloat. I would like to give her an extension for public safety until the 19th, same as extension for H.
I agree. Another thing, I would like to see Allison come so we can meet her. I think most of us know her, but,
Meet her on a professional level. I agree.
if you could do that, Mr. Chairman, invite her to the next meeting that she's available to meet with us.
Okay.
But give her some time to get acclimated into the job, Franklin. We don't need to see her tomorrow.
No,
But I like your,
Always.
yeah, exactly.
What's their last name again?
Costo, Kosto.
She's a local girl. I think she'd do a good job.
I do too. It's gonna be a good addition. Do we have any mail, Franklin?
here's one from Doug. I'll just read this off here. Brian Johnson was given his disabled veterans discount on the wrong parcel by DOR. He was given a discount on his mobile home, which saved him approximately $1. He has requested that this be fixed for 2014 taxes. If his discount is put on his real property, it will allow him a refund of approximately $500. The mistake was all due to the discount being put on the wrong parcel and is in no way any fault of Mr. Johnson. I'm including a letter written to Mr. Johnson requesting your refund. If you have any questions, please feel to call me at the meeting.
So did revenue screw that up
Yeah.
again?
I will say that I think that our local folks are doing a good job for the county. They work hard, they're diligent.
Here's,
I would request that we actually address this piece of mail before moving on, Franklin.
you wanna what?
What do you want to do about this piece of mail that you just read?
Well, I think Doug is right to go ahead and take care of it.
Then why would we bypass it? We should maybe work it, take care of it, and then move on.
Well, go ahead and make a motion, that's what you want.
Don't we discuss anymore as a commission? We used to.
That's all we were talking about. It was the DOR that made the mistake. So he's trying to get it squared around for him.
I would make a motion, we give Doug the go-ahead to get this corrected.
I will second that. I would also like to add to that, that we send a letter to DOR, make
Yeah.
them aware of this, and that we do that with every error that we see. And not to our local folks again, but to Judy Tice, yeah.
I agree. I mean, because just like the other day, they had two of us that they had screwed up on.
Right.
And how many more are gonna come in? Everybody's guess.
Oh, exactly. I just don't see that there's anything this gentleman did, and I think based on the fact that he's a disabled veteran, we should do everything we can to help him out.
Question, Carol. I was paying taxes the other day, and I've always paid taxes on time, so then they found it back in 2010, I had some delinquent taxes, and I said, how can that be? It's personal property. Our personal property is always attached to the land. In 2010, Department of Revenue screwed up and forgot to charge us all for predatory animal. And now we're getting hit with it this year, 5 years later. Did you just get that too? I guess I would ask that they keep track downstairs so we can get the Department of Revenue with a letter.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I couldn't figure out why, when all the taxes are always paid right on time, so why is this 5 years back?
Right.
So are you as a commission going to write the letter?
Well, I think we're gonna have to do a letter, but I wanna see when Doug gets all these compiled, as taxes are coming in, and they're discovering that. I wanna know how many people have been affected. It's not just you and I.
No. Okay, no.
What's the statute of limitations on that? Might just be 3 years or something, like mobile homes.
Yeah. I have to do some checking.
Will you?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know. Of course, we've already paid them.
Yeah.
Back on this, was that a second on this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. It's been moved to second, motion been made and seconded to have Doug go ahead and work with this refund for Ryan Johnson. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Here's a test on the well at the silos, and they'll come back good.
That's good.
Pacific Steel and Recycling. To our valued customer, we have recently undertaken a project review and update our customer files. As a result of this review, we have found that a number of our customer files are incomplete or out of date. To rectify the situation, we're asking our customers for an updated credit application. This will ensure that we have the most current and up-to-date information for each of our customers. Please complete the enclosed credit application and return it to us at your earliest convenience. Please not hesitate to contact us if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you for your help in this matter and for doing business with Pacific Steel and Recycling.
I move to send the updated information as requested.
Second.
We move in second that we send this credit application in as requested by Pacific. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Let's go out here, let's see. There's 8 acres there.
Yeah.
Place for 2, yeah. Here's from Tyler Technologies for annual maintenance. I thought we were through with Tyler.
We still have it for DocuPro, for the recording, the clerk recorder
Oh.
side, we still have Tyler.
Oh, okay. So, I assume that this probably should go to Doug.
So DocuPro is the only one with Tyler.
Here's from Robert Peck and Associates. Request for water and sewer service from City of Townsend, Broadwater County Office and Storage Building. Dear Rachel, on behalf of the City of Townsend, this letter hereby confirms that the city's water and wastewater systems have adequate capacity to serve the proposed Broadwater County Office and Storage Buildings development, and connection to the city's water and sewer system is approved.
Good.
This is the letter of request for water and sewer service for proposed Broadwater County Office Training Center for the dear city council members. Broadwater County has been working on this development of project constructing new county / office training center and storage building on their existing property north adjacent to the city of Townsend for several years. During the last several months, the project has progressed to the point where the county is ready to bid and construct the project. The county has been working with City Public Works Director Tim Rouser and City Contract Engineer Robert Peck and Associates to provide city water and sewer to the new facilities. The county recently received a letter from the city engineer indicating the city has adequate sewer and water capacity to service the proposed county buildings. At this time, Broadwater County respectfully requests that the city of Townsend expand their water and sewer areas to accommodate the project and improve the wastewater services. The proposed new water main and water service for the new county building as shown in the provided plans. The county would also request that the city of Townsend not proceed with annexation of the county-owned property, as Broadwater County will sign a waiver of protest for future annexation of this property. Annexation of the county property at this time will cost the county and the city additional money with no taxable value or benefit to the city. By the county waiver its right to protect future annexation, the city can annex the property whenever it is deemed beneficial to the city or to accommodate future development.
We'll move we sign that letter.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded, sign this letter, request of the city. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm not gonna say I've been against the project, but you folks decided you approve it.
How did you vote on signing this letter?
I just did a vote.
It's convenient not to vote, because if someone is for the project, for instance, can say, I never voted against it. If someone's against the project, you can say, I never voted for it. It's also on the front to transparency.
You got your, deal, I think, if you're from Debbie on this longevity. I think I
I don't think so.
Is it in this one? No?
No, that's budgets. I don't have it.
Actually, Franklin, you do if you just look under the paper clip.
I got two stuff in, what do you do? Thought I took one out and... No, all I have is mine. There's one in City Lane and I put it over here.
Well, then it might be in this stack.
You see?
Yep, it is.
Okay. Gosh, I thought I did. Okay, 11 o'clock. Fiscal year 15 public safety budget amendments. Decision.
So you skipped commissioners' budgets decision, Franklin? Are you gonna bring that up then after we're done with our 11 o'clock?
Okay,
You should announce that you're making that change to the agenda
Brenda,
in the entrance of transparency.
good, good, you're doing great, you're doing great.
Franklin,
You
you
wanna
skipped the
come up, Brenda, on
agenda.
this here?
Morning. So did you just have a good weekend or bad? Was it? Oh, okay. Really?
Three-quarters of an inch in 15 minutes. Wow.
Was that right?
Oh, so where'd you go with them?
We had to wait till the floodwaters went down and bring them across the river.
I was just telling these guys that on the national news this morning, on the Today Show, someplace in Texas, I don't remember where, they had 600 head of cattle, and they had cowboys galore, trying to get them across the flood. And they're gonna take them over and put them on a train to take them somewhere where it's dry. We're lucky.
Something last year Texas was so dry they had no grass. Now it's all in the water. Whenever you're ready, Brenda.
Well, I guess I was put on the budget, someone put me on the budget for cash reserves budget decision. So I don't know any issue with that, neither here nor there. The only letter I have is the one that I gave you back on April 28th. Requesting that the public safety budget be properly funded. As far as the cash reserves, they were set at 14,000 something at the beginning of the budget process. $14,606 to carry me through the next year, and that's, I take what was wanted to be discussed.
Yeah. Apparently that is it.
What is happening with the detention center? Are you still getting lots of people or?
Yeah, the numbers are up. But that doesn't have nothing to do with the public safety budget.
Right.
Actually, it does, but what are the numbers?
This morning, I think there was 32. I'm not sure how many of them were ours.
We've been around 40?
35.
45? Well, when Nick was administrator, when we would ask him, it was usually 40 to 45. He gave us, has it been 30, no, 32-ish for a while? What are we looking at there?
Anywhere between 27 and 38 it's been. So, depending on when,
So detention center ought to be doing okay then, finances.
well, we'll have to wait and see what the final budget, where they're sitting.
Actually, it is doing okay from our last review of the detention center. And if you look at it, with the money that's come in since, it's actually doing pretty good.
Do we have any of our own?
Yeah, we did, last week we had 10 of our own at one point.
Really?
Yeah, we've been busy.
Whoa.
The current amount left in the detention center budget total is 17%.
That's pretty good then. Considerably, we have 1 month left to the fiscal year.
Well, I don't know if she had the wages out of that for the last pay period or not,
Right.
so. And I just submitted a $12,000 meal bill.
And is that going well?
Yeah, it seems to be going really well.
And do the guys like the food? Or the people?
They're used to it, that's what they, most of our inmates are from Lewis and Clark County, so that's what they do up there also. So yeah, they're used to it. When we first switched, we had some complaints, but
You're gonna complain if you hang them with a new rope. So,
and the public safety budget has 25% left in expenditures.
25.
Yep, unexpended. Detention has 17, I think. Well, correct me then, correct that then, 20%, I was looking at the other. Left in expenditures, and public safety has 25%.
What is the feeling around Lewis and Clark? Do they think that they're gonna get that new detention center or
It's, like any other.
anybody's guess?
Yeah.
I'm on a board with Susan and I said to her the other day, so what do you think? And she said, I just wished I knew. You don't know. And because the school is asking for big bucks this month.
So I guess as the funding authority, I'm requesting that the public safety budget be properly funded.
I'm gonna take issue with the phrase. It was established through a 2-year process, you and Natalie, how many mills you needed to operate the detention center and public safety. You came up with that, you solidified that. We built your budget with you around that. Those are the mills you have. Since then, we've increased it by 5 mills. This past year, we gave you a PILT infusion to help with the 20 cents per hour per the CBA. We gave you a PILT infusion to help with the COLA increase for all employees, both sworn and unsworn. We gave you a PILT infusion to help with the wage adjustment due to the wage issue that we resolved. We also gave you a PILT infusion to make up the difference when the mill values went down, so you wouldn't see any decrease in the mill levies. It is your responsibility as the sheriff to live within your means, to build your budget, and it's your responsibility as the sheriff to put together the cash reserves you need to make it from July to November. We are here to help you, but it is not our job to do your budget. That is your job. So if we are going to work together, we need to stop with this phrasing of this way. We need to be constructive. I think we can find a resolution, but we need to work together on it and stop with the blaming.
I agree with you, but my ending cash balance, I feel, should not be my cash reserves. Shouldn't that be the cash that you carry over into the next budget?
It's not how it works. Your ending cash balance is your cash reserves. That's what it is. And it needs to be higher so that you have the money to keep your staff from July to November.
Maybe I should rephrase this. Prior to the past 2 years, okay, my ending cash balance has not been my cash carryover, my cash reserves.
It always has been. That's what it is by definition. It's just the reports look different, but the information is the same.
I'm not here to argue or get into it with anybody, with the commission. I have to disagree. I will disagree respectfully. I do have previous budgets where I can refer back and show what my ending cash balance was, and my cash reserves have not ever been over 33%. However, my cash balance has been all the way up to 600,000 or 800,000. So that's my.
So do you have any requests, specific requests, to make of the commission so that we can help get to a point where you can afford to keep your staff? That's the focus.
My specific request is that it properly be funded, not only this year, but next year.
And how do you propose to do that? That's, I guess, what I'm
As the
looking
budget,
for.
I tried to get a budget amendment typed up. The only two places that funding can come from, according to that meeting that we had with Harold Blatty, is either the general fund or PILT at this point, once the cash reserves have been cut like that, or not funded for.
They were not cut, Brenda.
Or not
They
funded, I
were
said, or not
cut.
funded for,
Thank you.
okay?
That you didn't fund for. Yes, that's your responsibility.
I cannot set the budget,
You do build your budget.
that's correct,
Okay.
and I have not ever
So-
exceeded, I've never exceeded the expenditure line item, and I've always brought in the revenue that I've expected to bring in.
Okay.
So, and can I interject, and just so I can wrap my mind around this thought process, is a budget is designed for the sole purpose to operate on. It is not a savings account. It's not designed to be a savings account. What I'm hearing is that we need to inflate our budget so we have enough money left over at the end of the year to then roll it over into a cash reserve account so we can operate on it, which is like a double-edged sword to me. If we were supposed to fine tune our budget so we utilize the monies we need, then why would we need, I guess that's where I'm a little confused. Because basically what I'm hearing is that I need to increase it so then there's enough money left over at the end of the year to rotate into July through the end of the budget section or session of September 30th. Am I wrong in that? I guess, because that's what I'm hearing, is because that's the only way to set the cash reserves. Last year we walked in the room, it was negative 154,000. The marching orders that I were given on like the 24th to 25th of September was by September 30th, that number needs to go from a negative 154,000 to 0 or better. And by taking the detention administrator position off the public safety aspect and putting it into detention as a cost there, that brought us up to 14,509, I think is what it is, if my memory serves me correctly. So that was the marching order that I was given, that's the objective that was set, and that's what I met. Now, if it's our responsibility to make sure that money's in there, the only way to do so is then budget more. If we're gonna use that end of year budget to then roll it into the next, the only way we do is budget more, which is gonna require more mills. Am I right? Yes.
Probably so.
I mean, I don't know how else to do this. I mean, I can't go down to the bank and get a loan, but the fact of the matter is that right now there's $14,000 to operate on. That's gonna get us through about 3.5 days, and then this office is gonna shut down. That means dispatch is shut down, that means no more popos on the street, and that's it. And so, I mean, it's a huge issue, and I don't know exactly how to find it. I disagree with the fact of trying to use soft money as in revenue from the jail. I'm gonna call it soft money because it's not guaranteed. You're basing unexpected revenue off the fact that bad people are gonna commit crimes and get incarcerated. And right now, we got more things out there from judges for community corrections and pretrial release and everything else. The number of people getting incarcerated, we lead the world in incarcerated people per capita. So everybody knows.
Here in
that-
Colorado?
No, in the nation.
Okay.
But everybody's getting more and more crime. I mean, goodness gracious, between all the article review, between the second and the fifth most violent county in the state for violent crimes per capita. Our population is the second fastest growing county in the state. Somewhere along the lines, we have to figure out how to make this work. But, I'll take it back to the conversation with Harold Blatty. In some aspect, it does fall upon everybody here is what level of lawlessness we're gonna tolerate. And we're gonna find ourselves in about 31 days asking that question. But we gotta resolve this somehow in a team aspect, is how's this gonna work? I know there's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, because I saw 2 rainbows last night, and I tried to get to the end of it, I couldn't find it, just so we're clear. They move, but,
They always do.
they always do, so. But help me out if I'm wrong in that thought process. I mean, I'm trying to understand this, but it's kind of, for years, we've been trying to fine tune it, so we're not exceeding, not having a bunch of money left. We're trying to utilize our budget the best, and that's the way we've been told to do it for a long time, and I guess that's where we're at. Now, there's not enough money to operate on it, so.
One, cash reserves. Since before I came on, every department, when they built their budget, just theirs, one of the things that they had to do per instruction was add 33%, ideally up to 33%. Other counties are at 18, 25. So add up to 80 or 33%, and that's the money to get you from July until taxes come in November. So that is a part of a department head's responsibility in building their budget. Now, it goes from year to year. Ideally, you carry that with you from year to year. So it's not necessarily something where you have to just off the top chop off 33% unless you spend down too far into that. So your budget, you go based on actuals, not, that's your fact line. So it's your responsibility to put that together. Last year it wasn't done, and you're right, you came back with how you came up from that 140 negative to 14 was impressive. And back then we said, okay, let's meet monthly so we can kind of keep an eye on this and work together so we don't come into a crash at the end of the year. That never happened, and now we're at the crash at the end of the year. So those are the cash reserves part. It's always been that way. It's how it's done by law. It's the responsibility of the department head to do it in their budget. The detention center, that was done before the 5 of us were here. Well, I think you might have been here when. But the thing is it was built as a revenue generator. We may like it, we may not. That's what it is. If we don't want it to be a regional detention center, we need to go through the process of making it a county jail or shut it down. But it was always built and always put to the public as a means of funding public safety. And there was just an article in the Bozeman Chronicle. They're doing the same thing there. That's why Lewis and Clark wants it. That's how they work.
And I don't disagree with that wholeheartedly, okay? The problem is, the county jails, detention center's detention center, it is what it is. However, the number that was proposed last year, it is very far out of line. Because the fact is it's been, when I have staff that are being pushed to call other places to try to find inmates, that's a problem. If we have beds available and people need them, they're gonna let us know. But to actually solicit from other agencies is one embarrassing. Goodness gracious, are we at that point where we have to call around and solicit people to bring people to our jail? No, we shouldn't. We've been here for 10 years. We have a reputation of doing thing right in the most part. And people understand that. We still have a reasonable rate. I mean, $65 a day is still fair across the board. Even though DOC is trying to change it to $70, I think that's what they're doing. But the problem is the prison system's full, and people commit felonies on a very rampant rate. And so that's why they're going with all these community-based programs. Family pre-release was a big provider to us for a long time. Their marching orders now, because DOC is broke, is that when people violate probation or pre-release, they get a notice to appear, they go in front of court. They're not getting incarcerated. That hurts the bottom line for us. And that's why when you have an expectation of an expected revenue of $650,000, that's really hard to meet when those things are happening. DOC is just spending too much money, and that's by housing people in county jails. So I think that's part of the remedy with the $70, I think is what they're trying to get to, but it's still jamming us on this end. And
So this is, actually goes up higher than Broadwater
Oh,
County?
yes.
Big
yes,
time.
Yes. And the judges, I mean, you think about this, is that, so we expect every year is that we put an expectation of expected revenue. I think this year, I think it was set forth of 27 or 28 inmates. That's all fine and dandy. But when the holiday season rolls around, the sympathetic judges fall into place and everybody gets released from jail. So we go down from 12, 10, 12, 15. That's not cutting mustard. Then that means that for several months there, we're gonna have to be right at maximum capacity. Maximum capacity, maximum cost. You know, and that's the thing. Holding for Lewis and Clark County is beneficial to an aspect, but it's also very difficult on the same note. We just got done with $5,000 worth of medical bills. Well, that is 3 inmates for an entire month that just went out to medical bills. That is a problematic issue.
That's our bill?
Those are our bills. And then the ones where DOC procrastinates and doesn't deal with or doesn't get back to us, we end up beating those bills because we have to provide medical service. And we're also into a civil liability issue for not providing medical. And so those things we're getting taxed one way or the other, and that's the difficult part. I'm all about fixing the problem. I just don't know how. But we've talked about public safety mill levy. Okay, we've talked about it umpteen million times. It's a 3-year process to do it right. There's nobody in this county, the only time people like cops is when they need them. If they don't need them, they don't like us. They don't want us around, they think there's too many of us. They don't understand why we're out on the highways doing traffic stops. They don't understand why we're arresting people for DUI. They think that everybody's innocent and we're just out there thugs like in Baltimore, Ferguson, or New York City, and we're just victimizing the good citizens of Broadwater County. So in order to understand, to do a public safety mill levy, we're gonna have to do a survey to determine whether or not people really, truly, how they feel about their law enforcement, what do they expect, and what do they want. And then base a mill levy off of what that survey would say. But you're not gonna get that done in 6 months, 4 months. You're talking years down the road. But it has to be a process that's started and move forward from there. Is it gonna have to come to that at some point? Yeah, it is. At some point, we're gonna have to quit kicking that can and actually do it. But it's gonna take commitment from all parties involved to get that done. Because it's the only way to continue down this path.
And it's not gonna happen overnight.
No. I mean, you think about 3 weeks ago, I'll use 3 weeks ago, we arrested 10 people on day shift alone. 10 people in 5 days. That's never
On day
happened.
shift?
On day shift. It's not uncommon. We're pulling people, it doesn't matter what time of the day it is. It could be 8 in the morning we're getting people arrested. Over the weekend, we had DUIs from Thursday. Monday morning, they had one at 11 o'clock. We had 6 or 7 by county deputies, and I don't know how many by highway patrol. That's just the nature of the beast. We're just a busy county. At some point, we can't keep doing the business the way we've been doing. We have to go and step up and go that next level. We're in that growth stage. I call it growing pains, because that's the best way to explain it. We're not big enough to meet the statutory requirements as a city, but we're busier than most people who have populations of equal or even greater than us. And so we have to, being stuck between those and the helmet is just what we're stuck with. So,
To get back to some of
You
your
betcha.
questions and back to the emergency that we have in front of us, I agree with what you're saying in a perfect world with the detention center. It would be nice if it ran itself. Doesn't, A detention center administrator's job, by and large, is gonna be marketing that place. When we had it almost shut down a couple of years ago, and I called Mike Farrader, the director of DOC, and he said, "Oh, are you guys even open?" That's what happens when we don't market. That is the job of staff right now and an administrator when we get them on, is to make those phone calls. We do have to solicit people to come here, and we may have to offer some things, like transportation. That was offered there for a while to huge success.
But we had, I'll use Nick. Nick told Carbon County Sheriff Josh McQuillan, if you wanna bring your inmates here, I'll come and get them. You're not saving anything by putting it.
Yes, we are.
You're losing a lot of money.
You run the numbers, we were making more. If they're just staying overnight, yeah, you're right. But one night staying with us isn't what we were looking at. We were looking at long timers.
And that's
There
what,
needs to be, run the numbers, which one works and what's the night, what's the sweet spot with the
you're
number
still
of nights.
putting, you're
But-
putting guys on the road, and that's my heartburn.
Lynn,
Is-
then let's get rid of the detention center, if that's your argument, or come up with another
Well,
plan.
here's my argument.
Let me
for it.
finish,
Okay.
okay? The detention center is what it is. If you don't like it, then let's come up with
I don't have
another
a
plan
problem
and
with the
fix it.
detention center, I have a
But-
problem with public safety.
The detention center was built to help fund public safety. So we've got an ace in the hole if we choose to use it. We've got a money pit if we don't. To the mills. A couple years ago, we were in this same position. I mean, this has been every single year since I was elected, and probably the 10 before that. We said, David Klaus came in with you, Brenda, and he said, let's have some conversations with the public. Let's see how they feel about public safety, and not just law enforcement, but fire protection, all the different aspects about that. And then let's put a mill to the people. We called in Dan Clark to help us with that, and showed 2 meetings. Wouldn't even show up to talk about it. Now, we're talking about it again, but just 2 years ago, you came here and you said, we may have to run a mill levy. And we said, if you start the process, we will work with you and help fund until that point. But there hasn't been that from you guys to us. It's just, why don't you guys fund us? We don't have the means to just fund you, and we're not gonna cut some of the other departments to do that. Another conversation from years ago that isn't gonna hold any water. So the budget last year gave us another ace in the hole. You vastly increased your expected expenditures, and you decreased your expected revenue. Okay, so we can work with those two. The grants, I know you're having problems with reporting, but there are more grants for law enforcement. Call Valley County and see what they're doing, because they are the model. There are more grants for law enforcement than any other department, and we've got a number of departments surviving on grants.
Good problem.
It is what it is.
But you know what, here's a problem.
Or go to
Here's-
the citizens and
here-
tell them you want them to pay more.
Here's the problem, is we've done more with less for years. This county hasn't seen an increase in the patrol division since 2005. Okay, that's 10 years. Our call load has gone through the roof. And I'm gonna tell you, I got a bunch of guys that I'm taxing all the time. They're tired, they're worn out. Okay, and that's where we're having problems. And you know what, they're getting called out every time I call them in for anything. They're whacking me for it. Why? Because they're tired. They want their days off. Hell, I'd love to have my days off. Those things aren't happening. The fact is when you talk about moving and transporting, there's only so much a human body can withstand. And that's where we're at, is that we have taxed our employees beyond belief. And the guys right now, I'll be honest with you, I am so damn sick and tired of horses, it's killing me. And Dusty and Brandon and Andy are all the same way. We're tired of them. But that's a court system, and it's taken forever. Nothing we can do about it.
Are we getting closer on that?
No, not really, sort of. But sort of, but that's a whole different argument. I don't have a problem going and trying to do the process. The problem is I can't do, right now I'm doing 2 paid jobs, again, okay? This is the, 3rd time in the last 6 years that I've been doing 2 paid positions. I don't have time to sit down and try to figure out how to do a public safety levy. The grants are great, but it takes somebody to administer them. That's why we don't have staff anymore. That's why we don't have UDO. Well, UDO went away anyways, but we don't have staff. and we don't have anybody in the drug task force, because I don't have anybody to do those jobs and do it effectively. And it ends up, if they're not doing it effectively, then it ends up back on my desk. And I don't need any more on my desk, I'm trying to get things off my desk, but it all comes back. The COPS grants are great, but guess what? At some point, you have to fund it. That's where the whole problem is that we're basically stuck in this little pie hole of money. This is all you guys got to work with. I brought it up a million times, we need a detective, the county attorney says we need a detective. It's one of those things, but there's no money to provide it. So I'm on the losing end on this.
So what's your proposal? What are you bringing to us as an ask?
Refresh with Brenda, wasn't it a few years ago that, your meals were cut almost in half or something?
From 2005, they were cut up. I mean, each year they were cut. This last year, no, 2 years ago, wasn't it? Last year or 2 years ago is when the only time that there was an increase back up the other direction.
Since I've been here, your meals have never been cut, and that's 7 years now. So, again, what is a proposal from you guys? Give us something that we can work with. What's a starting point? What's a proposal?
Honestly, well, I brought it up before the budget was set, that 14,000 isn't gonna carry us through.
So what's your proposal?
I am not the one who can move, I tried to type up a budget amendment proposal, but I'm not. the
No,
budget
your job
proposal.
isn't the budget amendment. That's not your job. That's Debbie's job. What's your proposal? We instruct Debbie on what she does regarding budget amendments. What's your
Not only
proposal?
this budget, but the future budgets, even the cash reserves need to be properly funded.
What's
That's my
your
proposal.
No, that's your statement. What I wanna know is, what do you suggest that can be done that you're bringing to us?
As far as now or future, are you talking?
You know what? The
Either.
agenda is just for now. We've gotta save your staff.
There's
There's two counties in this state that have the same relationship between commissioners and sheriff that we do. And do you know what they did last year? They cut all but the sheriff and the undersheriff. I don't wanna go there.
Right.
Let's work this out. My
And that's
gosh.
why I'm coming to
So-
you guys. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I can tell you, I wasn't aware that the cash reserves had to be budgeted in last year, and I wasn't aware of that. I'll say it right now. And I don't think anything in our budget we even intimated that was in there, you know. I mean, we have a preliminary where we put in, but I don't think we wrote in there for cash reserves to maintain even the 16,000 budget.
Well, and it
So-
wasn't until just now that I realized that we had to do that.
I didn't know.
Usually the budget
Yeah.
process, during the budget process, it's set aside.
No, that's not true, Brenda. That has not been the
Well-
case.
No, I
And
was-
we used to work with Natalie, and Natalie's probably aware of it, and that's probably where it came in at, you know, because that's what we did, you know. There might have been something that she just automatically threw in there.
And it was a nice service.
Yeah, and so, you know, I guess the only thing, I mean, the problem is there's no, the only way to do it is if we had, I don't know where the money is at, by any stretch of the means, but I guess, you know, I guess I would request, that, you know, somewhere we get at least the 30% or whatever. But if we could do an amendment from somewhere, wherever money is available. I don't know what we have, and I don't know what we have available left in the current fiscal year. Because, I mean, I think we've done fairly well this budget season.
25% left.
25% left, so it gets through a month, you know. So we're gonna have some extra, and I think that's, you know, been pretty, as Laura likes to word, frugal with our spending.
I do like that word.
So, I guess that's where we need, I mean, and unfortunately, I hate to say it, ignorance is not a defense, but I was not aware that, that cash reserve has to be budgeted in. And I, as the sheriff, and I sat through budget last year, I can tell you right now, I didn't have anything in there that remotely resembled that. So, I don't know where the money would be though.
The bottom line is, we all know it does now,
Yeah,
and we need to go forth.
yeah, and definitely fix it.
I have a proposal.
Okay,
Okay. This is coming from an email sent from Brenda to Debbie. Please draft a budget amendment of $317,000 from the PILT fund, transferring that into the public safety fund cash reserves for fiscal year 2015. This is the amount that will make the public safety budget whole for fiscal year 2015. Now, I'm going to use that as a starting point. That is Brenda's request of the commission, a proposal for $317,000 of PILT to make your budget whole at this point. Is that agreed?
sounds right.
All right. Is there a disagreement? Let me put it that way.
I
Okay,
don't think so.
so here's the proposal. I expected this proposal from you, and I know you were requested to bring that to us by, not the 317, but a proposal to us by the county attorney. This gives us a starting place, so I'm gonna walk you through it. Sharon, I'm gonna get your copy of this, and Ann, I'll give you a copy too. You'll have chicken scratch. Okay, this is based on that request, which I expected to receive today. There are two agreements, and that is a long-term plan for funding public safety. That is up to you as the sheriff. And monthly meetings starting in July, so that we can stay on top of this budget, so that we don't hit any more 11th hour surprises. So $30,000 was agreed upon by Nick with this commission in a public meeting to transfer $30,000 of his surplus to maintenance to help pay for all the activity that he did over there. He said he spent at least 75% of his time last year on projects in your department, which is great. That's his job. So what we're gonna do is not transfer that money. It's gonna stay in your department and go to public safety. That's one. Two, the detention center did so well last year that it actually had a surplus over the 33% of $126,838. That actually has grown, but the legal part is we cannot have a reserve over the 33% at the beginning of the budget year. So $126,838, I propose we transfer from detention center to public safety. Expenses,
Hold it, what was the percentage then?
33% is what it's at now. It was quite a bit higher than that.
Is it? Okay, it's Monday, bear with me. So is the 126, is that the 38%, or is that what's in that right now? Or that's what? Okay. So is there 33% sitting somewhere outside of the 126?
Yes,
Okay, that, all right.
yep,
That's
fully
where-
funded.
All right, that's where, yeah, more coffee. So-
All right. The next one is the expenditures. As was stated before, the expenses were inflated in the fiscal year 15 submitted budget. At this point, if you take, and this was a formula I shared with you guys a couple weeks ago, if you take what is expected to be expended through November and what hasn't been spent at this point, you come up with a surplus of $66,318. So I propose that that is used also as a cushion to help move us forward just through November.
Say that one more time, Joanne.
If you take the formula that we went through a couple weeks ago, about a month ago now, 6 weeks ago actually it was, and you take the, what we did is we took the percentage that account should be at, we looked at what was over that, and then we subtracted the 33%, and we came up with a surplus.
Okay.
Looking at the cash reserves at this point, I subtracted from that, and now that surplus is about 66,000 just from inflated expenses. So that's a little bit of an ace in a hole, so that's included